have your very own Humph that you brought upon yourself by not working. I want you to work. Go join the other three, and Humph to you. Well, that is how it was. From this day to that, the camel always wears a Humph. Will you look at me when I'm talking to you? Well, if you want to look for these books and all the other wonderful books you saw acted out today, go to your nearest library or bookstore. Happy reading! So long!
Excuse me, Mr. Costello.
Hi, what's up?
That was a really cool show. Yeah, it really makes me want to read those books.
Oh, thanks. You know what? I'm really glad to hear that.
But how do you do it?
Do what?
Well, you know, bring books to life.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Give me a few minutes. I'll come down to your classroom and show you, okay?
Cool. It's room 5.
I'll be there. Hi, my name is Kevin Costello of Costello's Children's Classics. You know, I'm often asked that question by students and teachers everywhere. How do you act out a book? When we see a book brought to life through acting, it opens up a whole new world of reading. For some, it even introduces reading to them for the first time. Because reading is so important and so much fun, I'm going to share with you the secrets of going from the page to the stage. I'll show you how to turn a book into a play and act it out in just 10 steps. Come on, let's get started. Hi.
Costello, welcome.
How do you do?
Come on
Thank
in.
you. Thank you.
Class, this is Mr. Costello. Let's give him a hand.
Hi, how you doing? You know, there are so many great books to read. Have you guys ever finished reading a book and been kind of sad to leave the world of the book, wishing you could go back? Well, bringing a book to life or acting it out is a perfect way to re-enter the world of the book and make it your world. So, where do you start? Right here, at your school or community library. Any book can be made into a play, whether a chapter book or a picture book, a classic or one written last year. So, decide on a book you'd like to act out. The choice is yours. Is there a book you'd like your class to act out?
Well, we've just finished reading Aesop's Fables. What do you think, class? Shall we act out some of those stories?
Yeah!
Good choice. A book like Aesop's Fables is perfect for a class project because it has many different short stories all in one book. We can divide the class into groups. Each group gets a different fable. So why don't you go ahead and form some groups?
Okay, let's see. Now, why don't we stand up and move to the front?
Now remember, we're going to work with Aesop's Fables, but you could use any book. Maybe each group could choose its own book and act out apart from it. Or how about each group acting out a different chapter from the same book? The choice is yours. Great. Looks like you've all got your groups figured out. Now here's what we need to do. We need to decide which part or which story each group will act out.
Hold it. We have to get organized about this, all right?
Come here, guys. Come on.
Of course, you'll need to find a fair way to do this. By the way, there's no reason why two groups couldn't act out the same part of a book. In fact, with different performers and each group's different imaginations, you will still create two completely different scenes.
Red Wolf.
Okay, we're ready now.
Great. So who's doing what?
We're doing The Boy Who Cried Wolf. We're doing The Town Mouse and the Country Mouse. The Tortoise and the Hare. The Fox and the Grapes.
Okay, so now you're in your groups. You know which part of the book you want to act out. Now you need to really get to know that part of the book.
Read it more than once, aloud with your group, alone at home after school. Before you can bring a book to life, you've got to read the book and know the book.
Now comes the challenging part, writing the script. A script is what actors and actresses use when learning their parts in a play. What will you find in a script? Monologues, dialogues, and stage directions.
If one person talks alone on stage, it's called a monologue. Two or more people talking make a dialogue. What someone does is called a stage direction.
Now, there is a right way and a wrong way to write a script. First of all, you want to always write who's talking, the name of the character, at the far left of the page, like so. After the character's name goes a colon. And that means, in this case, Joe will say whatever follows the colon. Then you fill in your dialogue. Hey, dude. Now, when the time comes for another character to speak, always skip to the next line. Write that character's name. Don't forget the colon and what that character says. Don't call me dude. Every time a character speaks, you'll repeat this pattern. Okay, I won't. Now, each time a character's name and colon appears, that's called a line. So in this case, Joe has 2 lines, Flo has 1. Their lines together make the dialogue.
But what if you want to write what your character does instead of what he says?
Ah, good question, Laura. A character's actions or stage directions are always written in parentheses, usually on a separate line, like so. So, your lines of dialogue, together with your stage directions in parentheses, make up your script.
Okay, so now we know what a script looks like, and we all know what a book looks like. But how do you turn a book into a script? How do you know what to write?
Ah, that's where adaptation comes in. Hey, have you ever been to the movies and seen a film based on a book you've read? Sometimes you may see a part of the movie and say, hey, that's not in the book. Or maybe, hey, why didn't they do this part of the book? Well, when writers adapt books into movies, they have to add some parts and cut other parts, hopefully to make the viewing experience as good as the reading experience. The same is true of acting out a book on stage. You want your audience to enjoy watching the play as much as they would enjoy reading the book. But a book and a play are 2 different things, so you're going to need to make some changes. So, what should you cut? What should you keep? Let's find out by looking at this excerpt from Aesop's fable, The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
Okay, class, let's open to page number 10. One day, the shepherd boy got an idea. I know a way to get some company, he said. Then he cried out in a loud voice, "Wolf!" he shouted, "Wolf!" Some villagers came running. They had worried looks on their faces. "What is it, boy?" a man asked. "Where's the wolf?" wondered a woman.
Okay, who can tell me where the author uses description in this part of the story? Monica.
Then he cried out in a loud voice. That's how his voice sounds. And they had worried looks on their faces. That describes how the villagers looked.
Good. As you can see, these descriptions are necessary in a book so a reader can picture what something looks like or sounds like. But in a play, there's no need to describe to an audience what they can see or hear for themselves. So, let's cut these descriptive parts. Now let's look at what I call the he said, she said parts. For example, he said, he shouted, a man asked, and finally, wondered a woman.
I see. The parts you just underlined are important in a written story because the author needs to tell you who says what. But in a play, the audience sees who's talking, right?
That's right. So, let's cut out the he said, she said parts. Vasha, could you read the top sentence of what's left, please?
Okay, one day the shepherd boy got an idea.
What should we do with that? Cut it or keep it?
Well, how about having a narrator say that part?
I like that idea. And that's another decision you'll need to make when writing your scripts, whether or not to have a narrator help tell your story. There's no right or wrong answer. The choice is yours. So look at what's left. Dialogue and an action or stage direction, the two components of a script. As you can see, the action of the villagers running in is now put in parentheses as a stage direction. The dialogue from the book is now in script form without quotation marks and assigned to the characters of narrator, boy, villager 1, and villager 2. One last thought on adaptation. Don't be afraid to add something to your scene that makes it special and unique. It's called creative license. You won't want to change the heart of the story, just spice it up here and there. Maybe the shepherd boy calls the villagers on a cellular phone. Or maybe the narrator could be one of the villagers or even one of the sheep. You know, creative use of your imagination, that's the key to making your script a great adaptation. The choice is yours.
So to sum up, cut the descriptions, cut the he said, she says, keep the dialogue, actions in parentheses, and be creative.
That's right. And guess what? You will have adapted a book into a play. Congratulations. By the way, now's the time to cast your scene, to decide who in your group will play which part, if you haven't done so already. Once you've done that, it's time to start acting. When everyone in your group has a copy of your script, read it aloud together, several times. Really listen to each other. Get used to who says what and when. Once you're comfortable with your script, it's time to stage your scene. Now, staging means tying the words of the script into movements on stage. You need to decide where everyone will go and what everyone will do to make your story really come alive. A couple tips on staging. First of all, you always want your audience to see you, so don't turn your back to the audience. Also, don't stand in front of your fellow performers. Oops, sorry about that. You also want your audience to hear you, so speak slowly and clearly. And remember to project your voice. If the audience can't hear you, they won't know how wonderful you are. Well, once you've staged your scene, there's only one thing left to do. Now it's time to add some finishing touches to your scene, costumes and props. I call it the icing on the cake. You see, I could eat this cake without the frosting. It would taste pretty good, but add frosting, it looks better and tastes great. It's the same with costumes and props. You could do a very good play without them, but add them and the play looks better. Besides, it's more fun. It's the icing on the cake. By the way, don't forget to practice a few times with your costumes and props before the actual performance, just to get used to how they feel. Ooh, speaking of performance, it's about that time. Well, now comes the best part of all. It's showtime. The lights, the laughter, the applause, the nerves. Listen, if you get nervous, don't worry. That's natural. Just try to relax. Close your eyes, take a deep breath if you have to. And remember, the audience is your friend.
The Boy Who Cried Wolf, a fable by Aesop. There once was a shepherd boy who watched the sheep in the hills above a village.
I'm so bored and lonely. Nothing exciting ever happens. Bah!
One day, he got an idea.
I know a way to get some company. Whoa! Whoa!
What is it, boy?
Where's the wolf?
Just kidding.
Kids.
Let's go back to the village.
Nice seeing you anyways.
A few days later, he was bored again.
I know. It worked before. Whoa! Whoa!
What's happening now?
April Fools.
What, no wolf again?
This is getting awfully tiresome.
Let's get out of here.
Can't they take a joke? Wolf, wolf. Wolf, wolf. Wolf, wolf. Wolf!
But this time, even though there was really a wolf, the villagers did not come, for they thought the boy was lying again.
Yeah, sure there's a wolf.
We're not gonna fall for his tricks this time.
Wolf! Really? Wolf! Bah! Why is nobody coming? Do you have any salt and pepper?
And the moral of this story is, a liar will never be believed, even when he tells the truth.
So there you have it, a successful production all your own based on the 10 steps to bringing a book to life. What are they again, you ask? Number 1.
Choose the book.
Choose
Number 2.
which part of the book you'll act out.
Number 3.
Read your chosen part of the book many times.
Number 4.
Write your script. Adapt your book into a play.
Number 5.
Cast a play. Who will play which part?
Number 6.
Read your script together many times.
Number 7.
Stage the script. Who goes where and when?
Number 8.
Rehearse your play.
Number 9.
Choose costumes.
And props.
And number 10.
Performance!
You know, bringing a book to life is a perfect way to get closer to a favorite book and try your hand at the wonderful world of acting.
Thanks for showing us how, Mr. Costello.
You're welcome. Think you guys can do it on your own now?
Yeah! Easily.
Ask your teacher if you can try your hand at acting out a book.
Hey, maybe we could do it for a book report. To kick off a readathon.
Or help sell a book fair.
The choice is yours.
Hey, that's my line. What are you guys doing? I mean, you want to say my lines or something? Remember when you did that thing with it? That was so good, man.
California cheese and then California egg. And we can turn it to an omelet.
Hey guys, you know we have some cake coming up. You want cake?
Yeah, we could go very rude with both of us and then we turn it to an omelet.